Very nice. Good looking Honda TRX400EX sports track. Let's see. All right, got the parts washer set. Woo! Let's go ahead and get this going. Need a little bit of some niacide. Mmm, tasty. Oh, let's fire this thing up. Kind of runs like shit a little bit. Hmm. Ooh. Simple. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, it's over. That looks okay. Oh, no, I missed the tools. wonder if I took it to my other work area. So we're missing a bunch of sockets. Oh no. It couldn't have gone too far, hopefully. I'm sure we'll eventually find it. Let's see. Four. I hope I put it. Yeah, we should look at that. Yeah. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Welcome to the chat, guys. Working on this early 2000 Honda 400EX Sport Tracks. Pretty clean condition. Okay. Mm. They're already kind of, it's like they're already broken. Not a big deal. Ooh. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Oh, cool, cool. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we are back to the shop. All right, cool. Julio. Let's see what we are working with today. Got this beautiful CN carburetor here. All right, let's see where we're at. We haven't cleaned up from last night's job, but not a big deal. So this is a constant velocity type carburetor, CV type key-in, ATS. Pretty straightforward. There are some things you need to check for and understand how these carburetor work. One thing that I have noticed on these right here, it all depends on the air intake system, but I've seen these things have running conditions, depending if like they're mud bogged pretty heavy, but sometimes these air circuits here that feed the main jet circuit will get clogged with dirt internally in this section here, and bike will kind of hold a good idle, but won't really accelerate, and that's because the main air jet circuit is clogged. And I ran into that. This hole deep, like in this canal here, will actually get packed full of dirt. So that's why servicing the air system is very important, and sometimes a little bit more than just a carburetor clean. But let's see. Shit, where's the tools at? Ha. Okay. See where we're at in this bad boy. Start by taking the hoses off. Okay. Leave that like that. Accelerator pump. See what we're working with here. Grab a little spring. Eesh. That definitely needs to be replaced. It's not pliable. So probably going to have an accelerator pump problem if we don't replace this. Don't have one of those on hand, so have to let the customer know it's kind of a specific part. Sometimes they're not completely universal. Usually this top here, that controls the depth of the plunger, how much it dives. Basically, when you hit the throttle and hits the accelerator linkage there and hits the pump arm, this is a stopper here. So this might be pretty universal in a sense. And okay, so this is the original diaphragm. When you get an aftermarket, you do want to check that plunger height, because if it's too short, usually you'll get a longer accelerator pump squirt, and if it's too much, it'll cause it to stumble or richen out, kind of make your bike run like shit. Let's see what we're working with here. Dirty. Okay. Ugh. Ugh. There we go. All right. Something like that. Okay. All these fucking screws are stripped out. Oh, right there is definitely stripped out. Let's see. Nope. Not gonna fuck up the tool. Nope. Nope. And yes. So motherfucker. Swear to God, people over tights and shit. Main jet holder wasn't even put in correctly. So, let's see. So 8 millimeter. It's damaged. This looks a little bent. Okay. Doesn't look too clogged. Huh. Probably still needs a carburetor clean. Look at that. That's not even. Somebody tried fucking with this. Okay. Close enricher. Oh, look at that. That's not going to work. Okay, so I was doing it on its side just so we don't damage the jet needle that's protruding there. Okay, so I think we're definitely going to need a rebuild kit. Could we get away with it though? Really, it depends. Yeesh. So throttle valve has decent amount of wear to it. So just kind of seeing that right there, that's like wear damage. That right there will cause a little bit of an air leak, could cause a little bit of a weird idle sometimes. Pretty important. As long as it's not binding, though, it should be fine. That's basically the Teflon coating. And what is this? I think it's made out of aluminum. So it's like Teflon coated aluminum. And once it gets a lot of dirt through the intake, it'll start wearing that. So that's a pretty good indication. Once you see a lot of wear like that on the throttle valve, it's a clear indication. If all that dirt's making that look like, and making it into this condition, then more than likely, intake valves, piston rings, cylinder walls, not too far behind in condition, but nonetheless, not too bad. I know that these parts right here aren't included in a basic rebuild kit, so I'm gonna have to part those separately. This isn't included in the basic rebuild kit. The screws usually most of the hardware is. So let's see here. We're probably going to need a full rebuild. Um, let's see. Kind of wondering if we should. Pretty stuck in here. Just kind of prep this. It all depends. Usually, I'll kind of hit up the customer and ask because the only way we're making this thing fly. What today is? What's today's date? Today is Saturday. I think most of the motorcycle stores are closed on Sundays. Ooh, I just broke the diaphragm. Son of a bitch. My my intrusive thoughts got to me. I just wanted to squeeze it. Yep, it's toast now. Look at that. Oof. It's okay. Will it still run? It's okay. It probably wasn't going to run anyways, so definitely needs a new accelerator pump. Yeah. So I don't know. Might be hit or miss to have this bike running by tomorrow, Monday. May or may not be able to get it done, but we can try. It definitely needs to be replaced. Let's see, can we get away with this O-ring here? This O-ring is pretty shitty condition as well. Yeah, it's like brittle and chipping away. There we go. Yeah, this wasn't gonna work. That's why it's leaking. So definitely gonna need a rebuild kit minimum. Let's see. Probably going to recommend a couple other things. This bike probably should use a basic tune-up. Okay. I don't think you can take this throttle valve out without taking out the whole linkage here. You got to pull this cap, take out this whole linkage assembly, and this shaft has to come out. I think just loosening the screw still doesn't give it enough clearance for the. What does it? I don't remember. Hmm. Oh yeah, it does come out. I knew that. It's been a while. Okay, looks like no washers on this one. Let's see. Jet needle B44A. Okay. Yeah, I think that's this does feel like it's toast. Okay. This thing's pretty dirty. Definitely have to clean up shop. R1 projects gonna get completed, I'm thinking, shortly after this. So figure out what we're gonna do. Okay. So let's go ahead and get soaking on this right here. Thinking I want to pre-clean these parts. Like to reuse the OEM jets if possible. Typically better. This right here, we're not going to soak. Fuck. Okay. So, what we shall do. Okay. Let's see. Okay, a little bit of an abrasive scrub, a little elbow grease, speed up the process and better results. It's kind of like a three-stage cleaning process, but basically just scrub, try to knock loose any debris, old gasket material, and we're using a nylon bristle brush. You don't want to use aluminum, brass, anything ferrous, even non-ferrous. You want to use something synthetic like plastic or nylon. Okay, and most of that crap should be kind of broken up during the cleaning process. Varnish fuel collecting with dirt. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let these sit in here for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Allow the aluminum to slightly get a slight chemical etching to it. That's what this solution does here. It's pretty good at doing a really good clean. Just got to be careful. Usually on OEM carbs, not too big of a deal because of the type of aluminum alloy they use in its casting process. And I'm pretty sure there's also some type of heat treating process that goes along to it versus some of the aftermarket Chinese carbs aren't even close to the same metallurgy. So it's like usually like a softer or a more raw aluminum. So I'll notice usually when I go to clean them, it oxidizes the shit out of them. So Chinese carburetors are kind of like a one-time use for the most part. There are some higher end Chinese carburetors that are worth rebuilding. But most of these ones, this is a Keen, so this one's definitely worth rebuilding. I think the original carburetor is like, so, probably 4, 5, 600 bucks usually is what a Keen costs brand new. But yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Once we finish the soaking process right here, we'll go ahead and just dip them in a little bit of water, and then we're going to go ahead and put them in the heated hypersonic parts washer, and that right there should kind of help break up whatever loose stuff is remaining. Usually it'll kind of wash away all this crap right here, but I'll usually also hit it with the scrub brush and kind of help loosen up whatever's on there. So typically by the time it hits the parts washing machine, it does like the final clean on it. Whatever loose stuff might be stuck in the internal passages. Definitely the heat plus all these like soaking procedures will usually loosen it up. And then when I go to hit with compressed air, blows it out, 98% of the time. I have ran into some issues on these carburetors before, and I'm pretty aware of what could happen if. And I was saying earlier in the video, if the main air jet circuit gets clogged up, it'll usually turn on, hold an idle, but when you go to give a gas, it'll run like shit. And I think we might have something similar to that happening because the pilot jet looked like it was pretty clear. Looks like somebody went through this carburetor, so we're going to find out here. We're going to make some additional recommendations and then hit up our customer and then see how he would like to proceed. So we'll see how late we're going to be up tonight, depending on how this job goes. We do have the Yamaha R1 project from last night. We have its engine outside, ready to be put inside of this chassis here. Maybe we'll do a little bit of basic degrease and cleaning. I got the torque specs. Looks pretty straightforward. Um, let's see, looks like this bushing, I know there's like some bushings and stuff like that. This bushing's probably definitely you know looks like it's been crashed. We'll go ahead and loosen that up, kind of clean everything. We got some bushings in here. I don't even know if they're um we'll have to see their condition. Looks like just the damage to this frame. Looks like it's bike's definitely been down a couple of times, judging by the damage to the bushings and the frame mounts. So that will probably be tonight's video. Um, we'll see how long it takes to get to it, and we'll see. And then we'll see what we're going to do with this engine right here, our junk engine, which has a lot of damage. Just to realize, look at all that beautiful JB weld there, right on the crankcase. Probably lost the chain or something at some point, or who knows. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with cylinder number one being messed up, if like the crankshaft came apart or something. That's usually that spot right there. I know from personal experience, it's maybe a little off to the side, so who knows why that's actually leaking. But I've blown shitloads of our 600cc engines, and I've had usually, for whatever reason, I think it has to do with typically cylinder number four wears the most, I think, because it's on the drive side of the cam. So number one, number two typically have higher compression. There's more pressure on that piston, connecting rod, crankshaft, journals, everything. So usually what happens is I've thrown a few cylinder number one connecting rods, and they usually come right out the side of the case, usually like in this area. That looks a little off to the side, so that might be like something stator related, but kind of makes me wonder if maybe this engine was blown up at some point and then Mickey Mouse back together, and that's why we got 0 psi here and then like 140 to like 160 psi on these three cylinders here. But our new engine that we're going to be swapping in, pretty good. We got about 160 to 170 across all four cylinders. The only thing is the starter clutch sounds a little nasty on it, or the starter motors do. But yeah, I think that should be it. How does this go? I think that went like that. It's supposed to go like that. I'm not sure. Maybe they do go like this. Might have to look at the service manual. Yeah, good times. Okay, so yeah, got our carburetor soaking. We're gonna go ahead and put this project on standby here and go ahead and contact the customer, see what they want to do, how they would like to proceed. And then we'll go ahead and we'll come back and make another video. So, yep. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Brian, motorcycle mechanic. Found this channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you can stay up to date. We'll be back here in maybe a couple hours, 30, 40 minutes. Who knows? Got to make some coffee. Uh, Energy drinks kind of not kicking it right now. I think I had too many last night working on the R1 project. But we'll be back here shortly. So hit those comment boxes, give this video a thumbs up, and stay tuned for the next one.